Hello, welcome to Anshika's Academy, and this is the series of Tamil Nadu Board History 12th class, and this is chapter number 14 that we will cover in this chapter. In this video, Indian National Movement 1885 to 1905, and there is mainly 5 topics in this chapter. First, the growth of East India Company's rule in India, origin and growth of nationalism in India, birth of Indian National Congress, the objectives and methods of early nationalist movement, leaders of this period, achievements of the moderates. Factors promoting the growth of nationalism in India. The following causes are responsible for the origin and growth of nationalism in India. Mainly nine factors that promote growth of nationalism in India. First, political unity. For the first time, most of the regions in India were united politically and administratively under a single power, the British rule. It introduced a uniform system of line government. Second, development of communication and transport. The introduction of railways, telegraphs, and postal services, and the construction of roads and canals facilitated communication among the people. All these brought Indians nearer to each other and provided the facility to organize a national movement on an all India basis. Third, English language and Western education. The English language and Western education. The English language played an important role in the growth of nationalism in the country. The English educated Indians who led the national movement developed Indian nationalism and organized it. Western education facilitated the spread of the concepts of liberty, equality, freedom, and nationalism and sowed the seeds of nationalism. The role of the press, the Indian press, both English and vernacular, had also aroused the national consciousness. Social and religious movements of the 19th century, the leaders of various organizations like the Brahma Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission, Arya Samaj, and Theosophical Society generated a feeling of regard for the pride in the motherland. Economic exploitation by the British. A good deal of anti-British feeling was created by the economic policy pursued by the British government in India. The English systematically ruined the Indian trade and native industries. Therefore, economic exploitation by the British was one of the most important causes for the rise of Indian nationalism. Racial discrimination in the revolt of 1857 created a kind of permanent bitterness and suspicion between the British and the Indians. The English feeling of racial superiority grew. India as the nation and Indians as individuals were subjected to insults, humiliation, and contemptuous treatment. Administration of Lord Lytton arranged the Delhi Darbar at a time when the larger part of India was in the grip of famine. He passed the Vernacular Press Act, which curbed the liberty of the Indian press. His Arms Act was a means to prevent the Indians from keeping arms. All these measures created widespread discontent among the Indians. The Ilbert Bill controversy. The Ilbert Bill was presented in the central legislature during the viceroyalty of Lord Ripon. The bill tried to remove racial inequality between Indian and European judges in courts. This bill was opposed by the British residents in India. Ultimately, the bill was modified. Thus, various factors contributed to the rise of nationalism and the formation of Indian National Congress. Early political association: the British Indian Association 1851 Bengal, the Bombay Association 1852, the Dadabhai Naoroji, East India Association 1856 Lytton, London, Madras Native Association 1852, Pune Sarvajanik Sabha 1870, the Madras Mahajan Sabha 1884, the International Congress 1885. A.O. Hume, a retired civil servant, and the British government took the initiative to form an all-India organization. Thus, the Indian National Congress was founded and its first session was held at Bombay. In 1885, W.C. Banerjee was its first president. W.C. Banerjee was its first president. It was attended by 72 delegates from all over India. Persons attending the session belonged to different religious faiths. They discussed the problems of all the Indian irrespective they discussed the problems of all the Indians irrespective of their religion, caste, language, and regions. Thus, Indian National Congress from the start was an all India secular movement. embracing every section of Indian society. The second session was held in Calcutta in 1886, and the third in Madras in 1887. The history of the Indian national movement can be studied in three important phases. Three phases. The phase of moderate nationalism 1885 to 1905, when the Congress continued to be the loyal to the British Crown. Second, the years 1906 1906 से 16, एक तो 85 से 1905 और दूसरी 1906 से 16, तीसरी 1917 से 47. The years 1906 to 16 witnessed the Swadeshi movement, rise of militant nationalism and the Home Rule movement. Third, the period from 1970 to 1947 is known as the Gandhian era, moderate nationalism. The leading figures during the first phase of national movement were A.O. Hume, W.C. Banerjee, Surendranath Banerjee, Dadabhai Nauroji, Firoz Shah Mehta, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, Badruddin Tayebji, Justice Rana Dane, G. Subramaniam Iyer. Surendranath Banerjee was called the Indian Burke. He firmly opposed the partition of Bengal. He founded the Indian Association 1876 and agitated for political reforms. He had convened the Indian National Conference 1883, which merged with the Indian National Congress in 1886. J. Subramaniam Iyer preached nationalism through the Madras Mahajan Sabha. He also founded the Hindu and Swadesh Mitra. Dadabhai Nauroji was known as the Grand Old Man of India. He is regarded as India's unofficial ambassador in England. He was the first Indian to become a member of the British House of Commons. Gopal Krishna Gokhale was regarded as the political guru of Gandhi. In 1905, he founded the Servants of Indian Society to train Indians to dedicate their lives to the cause of the country. For a few years, the Congress enjoyed the patronage of British administrators. Between 1885 to 1905, the Congress leaders were moderate. The moderate had faith in the British justice and goodwill. They were called moderates because they adopted peaceful and constitutional means to achieve their demands. Main demands of moderates: expansion and reform of legislative councils, greater opportunities for Indians in higher posts by holding the ICS examination simultaneously in England and in India, separation of the judiciary from the executive, more powers for the local bodies, reduction of land revenue and protection of peasants from unjust landlords, abolition of sati tax and sugar duty, reduction of spending on army, freedom of speech and expression and freedom to form associations. Methods of moderates. The moderates had total faith in the British sense of justice and fair play. They were loyal to the British. They looked to England for inspiration and guidance. The moderates used petitions, resolutions, meetings, leaflets and pamphlets, memorandum and delegations to present their demands. They confined their political activities to the educated classes only. Their aim was to attain political rights and self-government stage by stage. In the beginning, the British government welcomed the birth of the Indian National Congress. In 1886, Governor General Lord Dufferin gave a tea garden party for the Congress members in Calcutta. The government officials had also attended Congress sessions. With the increase in Congress demands, the government became unfriendly. It encouraged the Muslims to stay away from the Congress. The only demand of the Congress granted by the British was the expansion of the Legislative Council by the Indian Council Act of 1892. Achievements of moderates. The moderates were able to create a wide national awakening among the people. They popularized ideas of democracy, civil liberties, and representative institutions. They expanded how the British were exploiting Indians, particularly Dadabhai Nauroji in his famous book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, who wrote his drain theory. He showed how India's wealth was going away to England in the form of salaries, savings, pensions, payments to British troops in the India, and profits of British companies. In fact, the British government was forced to appoint the Welby Commission, with Dadabhai as the first Indian as its member, to inquire into the matter. Some moderates like Rana Dane Gokhale favored social reforms. They protested against child marriage and widowhood. The moderates had succeeded in getting the expansion of the Legislative Council by the Indian Council Act of 1892. Learning outcomes of this chapter are mainly 5 topics. The factors led by the growth of Indian nationalism, the birth and growth of the Indian National Congress, a brief sketch of the leaders of the moderate nationalism, the aims and methods of the moderates in calming their demands, the British exploitation of the Indian economy in the drain theory. This was the chapter number 14. Thanks for watching.